Welcome back to the Inner Alchemist TV. In today's video, we're going to be taking a look into Carlos King versus the coldest Winter Harris ever. So I saw Carlos was blowing up the timeline yesterday, so I'm like, let me go ahead and pull these cards while the block is hot and see what's going on. So that's what we're going to be doing today. Go ahead and like the video. Thank you guys so much for showing out on that like button. Also making sure that you're subscribed to the channel and that you guys are having your notification bells on. Make sure you guys keep up with the community wall. You know that we're in a fight. I hope that everything ends. I hope that everybody goes to their respective corners. The white flag is raised and we all go back to business as usual. But until then, if my channel is jeopardized in any way, you guys just you can always message me on Etsy, the Inner Alchemist, and please donate $1 to the Cash App, $, the Inner Alchemist, just in case there's any fight or any actions that I need to take if my channel gets jeopardized. But I think that will be good. Like I said, my goal is to end this, let everybody go to their respective corners, but until then, it is what it is. It's up and it's stuck. So that's where I'm at with it, right? So keep posted on the community wall for those updates. Yeah, and that's what we're gonna do. So let's go ahead and jump right into this reading. Definitely a lot going on. The situation, or how this reading is coming in, should I say, is the Six of Wands in reverse. So the Six of Wands in reverse represents that fall from grace. Or if it's not a fall from grace, it's definitely a fall from your high horse. Definitely a fall from high places, right? This is like busting your ass. Now, what I found interesting too, though, about this energy is that the Six of Wands energy is about treachery and betrayal. You know, when the Six of Wands is upright, you have kind of like the buy-in of the people. You have people that are celebrating you. You're victorious. You're marching through the crowd. Everybody's in awe of you. But when it's in reverse, it's like those same exact people are giving you the side eye and plotting things behind your back. Right now, the Six of Wands also has like kind of like an employee reference, and from this perspective, this is like saying that your employees or your subordinates have been disloyal to you or have let you down in some type of way. Now, when I do my content, I think I'm gonna have the video ready by Friday when I talk about the reality TV pyramid scheme. I'm going to tell you guys how everything works as far as like who's where on the totem pole and who answers to who and all of that good stuff. But for now, I will say that Carlos is the executive producer. And what that means is that he's the person that funds the projects. But people who are under him may be considered producers. Either they're under him or they work side by side, adjacent, whatever, I don't know. But those are like sometimes like the actors on the shows, right? So the reason why an actor would want to be a producer is so that they can have creative control over how they're portrayed in a show or something like that. But at the same time, they're still working under him. Another role that they have that's important to this piece of the story is that they negotiate contracts with cast members of the show. So I don't know. So these are people who work under the executive producer. Now, remember, you guys, I put on a community wall that Monique was a procurer, quote unquote, meaning that she goes out and secures talents for the show. And the reason why I call on to that is because when Winter had her conversation, she was saying that Monique told her she made $2,500 and blah, blah. And I just wasn't buying it. I'm just not buying it. I don't think that you would be an established actor on Bravo to come to OWN and be offered something like $2,500. But what I do think is that there's a certain budget for people to secure talent, and it's a flat rate bottom line. But if you are offered, say, $10,000 to go and secure talent, and you get the talent to accept $8,000, then you pocket the $2,000. You see what I'm saying? So the less you have to spend on a talent, the more you get to keep within that bottom line, you know. So that's why I call it procuring, and that's where I'm thinking this kind of betrayal or treachery from his employees, quote unquote, or people who are coming in under him. I think that's what it is involving. from the perspective of maybe he didn't even know, or there could be a sense of him not knowing how little that people were being offered. But I do believe, because he is coming in as deceitful. I'm not taking nothing away from him, and I'm going to get to that. But he may not have known the extent of it, or something like that. It's something like that going on, right? Now, on the flip side, Carlos is also having this like reputation of being very arrogant and very condescending to the people around him. So it's possible that maybe somebody tried to tell him, or maybe he could have known what was going on if he wasn't so busy kind of like turning his nose up at people. But this situation has him such in his feelings and has him so emotionally fucked up. Now, I don't know if he's emotionally messed up over this African, because the African is here and it's a mess going on there that we're going to get to in 2.2 seconds. But whatever it is, Carlos is in his feelings, and he's like in this kind of like mood where I don't want to say he wants to like evaluate himself, but he's definitely taking a look at how he's coming across and trying to figure out like what he's giving off that has people thinking that he is like the demon that he's being portrayed as. You know what I mean? So he's looking at that, definitely, right? He's definitely mad. He's definitely mad. If he wasn't in his feelings so much, I believe, about going through things with his relationship, I'll just skip to it. It looked like he flew to the African unannounced, and they had a conversation, and the African admitted that he wasn't in love with him. I don't even know if this African is married, or he found out the African was married to a woman, because it's coming as a married person. Skip that. Now we're gonna get back to that, but I'm saying that to say I don't know if that's why he's like in his feelings, because he's in his feelings. He's in his feminine energy big time, right? And I don't mean that in any flip of the wrist type of way. I mean like a real emotional, devastated type of way. You know what I mean? He wants to do battle. He wants to set things straight. He wants to speak on things in full disclosure, but he's really emotionally affected right now. I don't know if that's by what's going on, because there is a betrayal that he's dealing with, or if that's because of something that he has going on in his personal life. Now, whatever the situation is, life is basically forcing him to take a stand on who he is, or who he's portraying himself to be. You know what I mean? And what exactly it is that you're out to accomplish. You know, is this a money thing, or is this about integrity, or something like that? Those are the things that are like coming to the focus for him. You know what I mean? Now, there is a part to this situation, though. Even though I feel like Carlos's pride, there's something with his pride that he's gonna end up getting tripped up and end up embarrassing himself about. But at the same time, there's an element of this situation that's going on where it's not substantial, you guys. It's coming across as just for show. Now, I haven't done a reading on Winter Hair, so I don't really know what her character is, but it's possible, right? Without me going too deep into it, it's possible that she's just doing this all for show as a secondary clout chase for herself. You know what I mean? So I want you guys to reserve your emotions. I'm not saying don't support her. I'm saying be skeptical, be objective, don't emotionally attach or trauma bond with her because she's going through something. There's a way to support people but still stay up on who they are, right? So Carlos, there's something there's something I don't know. I was gonna say he was gonna do some backpedaling, but I really think that has to do with the African. I think that's more so pertaining to like the love storyline, because it's closer to this Queen of Cups. You know what I mean? Yeah. But anyways, definitely some BS going on. I also feel like there's something that Carlos is going to be doing to, I don't know what Winter's objective is, but there's something that Carlos is going to do to like undercut her, or, you know what I mean, or undercut her, whatever it is she's trying to pull off. He's already like 10, what do they call it, like 10 steps ahead? Is that what they call it? He's already ahead. So he's definitely a tricky person to deal with, and you got to wake up real early in the morning to deal with him, because he's sure of himself. Now, is it possible he may slip and fall? I think so, but until then, like I said, do your work, make sure you know what you're doing, right? Okay, so let's move forward. Now, what's influencing the situation? I call it what's in the background, what's in the subconscious, what's in the unconscious, whatever. It's the Five of Wands, and that's clarified by the nine of Pentacles. Now, the Five of Wands is like saying like everybody is working towards like everybody has like a different purpose. Everybody has a different objective, and that's what's causing all this arguing and bickering. You know what I mean? And definitely people being at odds with each other. Now, Carlos he's very annoyed by whatever demands people think that they have on them. I think that attitude may be part of the condescendingness, because he's not entertaining it from a perspective of like investigation or anything like that. He's annoyed. He's seriously annoyed by this shit, and I feel like he's highly irritated, and he feels like this shit is trivial. You know what I mean? He feels like you guys are bothering me with a bunch of shit that does not matter, and I feel like he does not even want to deal with this. But there's this card here, which is the Seven of Swords in reverse. Now, this is who he's actually coming in as, right? Now, the Seven of Swords is in reverse, but it's clarified, or is clarifying the King of Cups, who is also in reverse. Now, the King of Cups in reverse is a deceitful businessman, but the thing is, the Seven of Swords is someone that tries to like be on the up and up because they're afraid they're going to get caught, or they're trying to lay low before some shit gets really blown up, right? So if you think about the Seven of Swords in tarot, that's usually a card like of strategy, somebody like trying to get away with something, somebody betraying somebody, sneaking behind your back. Whenever we think about like cheaters and shit like that, we're looking for Seven of Swords, Three of Swords, shit like that, right? But when it's in reverse, it's almost like saying somebody's like trying to be a little bit more, you know, prudent, trying to like lay low, trying to like come off as honest, you know, just to kind of cover up the shit that they've done. You know what I mean? Now, it's also a person who tries to cover up like something shameful that they've done. Now, this is coming in as him, as a person. Now, like I said, I don't know if this has to do with his relationship, because the relationship is here, and it looks like there was some type of travel, like I was telling you guys earlier, where I feel like he either went to the person, or he popped up on the person unannounced, and it scared the person, and they had like some type of reaction, and there's a marriage here. Now, the only thing that kind of like is throwing me off about this marriage card is that it could just represent a relationship as well, but this is in his external environment, so it's showing me that the other person is in a relationship, but I cannot take it off the table that could be Carlos's relationship, even though there is two women in this spread, and there's like maybe like 3 male figures in this spread. So right, that's what I'm saying there. So there's definitely some type of like deception. Like I said, Carlos is coming in as a King of Cups in reverse, and with this Seven of Swords, this is like saying whatever dishonesty or deception, something is being revealed. You know what I mean? Now, this could be just Carlos having to come clean about something, or like him trying to reshape his image, or come across like he's being more open-handed. Like I said, making some type of declarations. It does look like on his part that what we know or what we see, that shit is unsubstantial, but there is something going on, but I don't think it's what we see. You know what I mean? I don't think it's what she's talking about to us. There's some deeper elements to this whole story, and like I said, I don't know if it has to do with it being a pyramid scheme. You know, nowadays they call pyramid schemes multi-level marketing, MLMs, and things like that. It could get very deep. It could get very deep. Like I said, Carlos, the Seven of Swords represents kind of like a clash, because his desire is to stand up and speak out for himself, but he's so vulnerable right now. And like I said, I think that because he's having some relationship problems, you know what I mean? And I feel like so he's having a hard time like coming and like speaking out and like really taking control of the situation, even though he's very angry and irritated, right? As a result of that, instead of him being direct, he's like trying to manipulate the situation, or trying to like be cunning about it, but he's trying to be very slick and very covert about maneuvering the situation, because like I said, he has a desire to punch you in your face, but his feelings is hurt over something, so he can't do it right now, right? There's also something, I don't know if there's like a file or some type of contract, but he's going to like, he's looking for something. He's trying to retrieve some type of document. I don't know if he's trying to hide it from people, or if he's trying to like take it off the table. I'm not sure. But he looks like he's trying to like go and find some type of contract or some type of document, right? Carlos feels like people are trying to steal from him. He is coming in as the King of Coins, and that is clarified by the Ten of Swords. Or not him. This is what's crowning him. So actually, it doesn't even have to be him. It could be somebody else. But this is coming across as somebody being betrayed for money. So I don't know if Carlos is being betrayed for money, or if he's betraying somebody for money, or maybe he found out this African is betraying him for money. Like I said, the African appears to have like another relationship. I personally am seeing it as with a woman, but I can't confirm that, right? Because I mean, these cards, they look genderless, right? Now, with Carlos coming in as the King of Cups in reverse, he's coming off as heartless right now. I don't know if this is like a situation where hurt people, or I feel like he's closing himself off, right? I don't know. Like I said, he's just in a mood. He's in a mood, and there's like something in him where he's trying to like appear like he's strong, or like he's like a machismo or something like that, but really he's feeling like weak inside, or ineffective. You know what I mean? And so his feelings are kind of like wavering. They're like back and forth, and he's concerned that he's probably gonna, like, you know, I don't want to say lose it, but emotionally he's feeling very unstable. You know what I mean? And I feel like he's struggling to kind of manage that. There's some disappointment that he has in himself over something. You know what I mean? And so I feel like he feels like whatever this is, whether this is about this relationship or these business situations, his heart is just not in it anymore. Like there's a sense of like it's being depressing for him. And I don't know if this disappointment in himself, like I said, has to do with him being involved with somebody who appears to be in another relationship. And like I said, he went to this party. There's two cards, because I don't put the message out unless there's a confirmation. There's two set of cards that are showing him having traveled to somebody unannounced, and that person being startled by his entrance or his presence in some type of way. So I don't know if him and Nene I picture Nene being his man. I don't know if him and Nene, you know, went and popped up on the African and his wife or something like that. I don't know, but I do know that there was a conversation that happened between him and the African when he got there, and the African told the truth. You know what I mean? And I'll tell you guys what that is in just a second, because I'm getting ahead of myself. Right now, like I said, this King of Cups in reverse, I feel like Carlos is going through a bit of a depression, and he's trying to act like he's strong, or he's trying to come across like he's strong, but it's just a cover up his weakened position, because maybe he feels like people pounce on you like when you're in a kind of like weakened position, if that makes any sense, right? Carlos he's waiting on love, though. You know what I mean? I feel like he got into some type of like standstill or something with the African. Like it's almost like he's trying not to chase, but I think he did end up chasing, or maybe he was trying not to chase, and then he couldn't help himself, and then they ended up going to him, and then he ended up running into some shit he didn't want to see, or something like that. He feels exploited, though. He feels like was taken advantage of. Or he could have been the one taking advantage. He could be getting taken advantage of while simultaneously taking advantage of other people. That's why I made that hurt people analysis, right? The King of Cups too, with the Seven of Swords, sometimes this is like embezzlement. And I don't know, because the Seven of Swords, he kind of tries to fly right because he's in fear of being caught doing something. You know what I mean? So I don't know if that word is going to come up in the near future, but just don't forget that you heard it here first. Don't forget that you heard it here first. But yeah, definitely he's kind of faking a public role to cover up like what's going on like inside of him. You know what I mean? And I feel like he's trying to like escape in some type of way. I don't want to say he has a poor me attitude. He doesn't on the scene, but if he's talking to someone like behind the scenes, like I said, he's very much in his feelings, and feeling sorry for himself in some type of way because he feels like he's about to get caught up. And maybe he is. I feel like there's definitely like a sense here in these cards, of him being caught up on something or caught doing something, but I just can't really tell what it is. But I think it has to do with money, and I think it has to do with like getting over on like one of the sponsors or one of the other executive producers, because it's the King of Coins here. There's a King of Coins here which is like the richest man in the tarot, right? And then there's some type of betrayal here with that person. So I don't know if and like I said, if it's not him doing this to someone else, or this is someone else in the environment, then this is somebody doing it to him. But with him being afraid of getting caught doing something and me looking at some embezzlement, I'm inclined to believe that he betrayed one of his business partners or one of the investors. He stabbed him in the back. Now let's say this too, though, because this is one of the things that I learned when I was doing my reality, what I call it, the pyramid research, right? They're all looking for talent, and like I was going down that rabbit hole and saying that if for the talent they secure, they get a kickback. Now it's possible that somebody else was supposed to get a kickback from somebody else, but then somebody undercut them, because somebody got undercut in here. You know what I mean? And it was in a monetary way. And I'm wondering, just going with that pyramid theme that I have going on, if somebody like undercut somebody out of some money, like by signing somebody directly, or somebody like went and got signed to the other person and thus cut another person out of some money. And this appears to have come from a woman, because in the recent past there was the Queen of Swords in reverse, and the Queen of Swords in reverse, like she's not a character that most people want to deal with. You know what I mean? This would be like a very kind of like, what do you call, like a cutthroat woman, but she's more on like the bitter side. You know what I mean? And she does things from like a place of just being very cold-hearted. You know what I mean? Very cutthroat. And so since she's in the spread in the recent past, and it's next to the Knight of Coins, then that would to me would signal that the relationship with this person would have been like a higher up than him. You know what I mean? So she could be like an older woman. I ain't gonna lie to y'all, the first person I thought was Oprah. The first person I thought was Oprah. I don't even know if he's ever met Oprah, but the relationship between this Knight of Pentacles and the Queen of Swords in reverse is like a protege. You know what I mean? So I feel like there's a woman here. She could be older, she could be not, but there's a woman here, and there's some type of like gap between them, whether that gap is in pay, or whether that gap is in position in work or something like that. And I don't know if the relationship with this woman was severed or something like that. I'm not sure, but this is a woman who also is very tricky. And with this Knight of Pentacles pairing with this, it's possible that she taught him everything that he knows, because she also is deceitful. You know what I mean? And I feel like either he sees her as evil or she's portrayed as evil. I want to say that has like this cruel streak about her, whoever this woman is. You know what I mean? bad temper, bad behavior, very frustrated but very ambitious type of person with this Queen of Swords in reverse. This is like the female, I don't know, I wouldn't call it female narcissist because I believe in women with ambitions, but this is more like a nastier version of that, you know what I mean? Definitely, right? Now, around this person, Carlos was like trying to camouflage his capabilities, like he was like playing dumb. He was like leading on that he was like less intelligent than what he was. Now, I don't know if that was his way of like trying to get close to this person by pretending to be like I said, dumbing himself down a little bit, and maybe he thought that he would like get somewhere if he played, like I said, the role of the person's protege, and so he ended up under this person in some type of way. I don't know if he betrayed this person or this person betrayed him, but there's a relationship that he had with a woman that played a huge part in kind of like his whole situation, right? I feel like it ended up in some type of disappointment, and this person was like hypercritical of him, or I don't know, they were very, very harsh with him, and ended up rejecting him, you know what I mean, or something like that. Definitely, I feel like definitely somebody who he tried to, like I said, do everything to be up under, but they were just like very not interested in him. I don't know. I feel like somebody like rejected him or something like that. I don't know if Carlos was like I don't know if Carlos was like playing some mind games. I don't want to say that because the Knight of Coins is pretty loyal, pretty steady, pretty straightforward, but this Queen of Swords in reverse, she rejects mind games. You know what I mean? So I don't know if she took him, maybe because like with this combination of cards, it was almost saying that he was playing less than his capabilities in order to get close to this person, and maybe they kind of like picked up on it, you know what I mean? And I feel like she became like his enemy in the network somewhere. She had a bad temper and she's very spiteful, you know what I mean, very vengeful. And I don't know, I feel like he had that experience with this woman recently in the past or something like that. And I don't know if she had something to do with this other guy, this executive producer who was betrayed, or who he betrayed. I don't know, but there's some connection between an older woman, Carlos, and another man that is an investor in this show, in this project or something, and there's some type of betrayal link. I don't know if she played him, used one to play the other, or something like that, and the core of the subject has to do with money. You know what I mean? Like I said, I don't know if somebody took somebody's financial opportunity. I'm not sure, but definitely. And then now that I'm thinking about it, with him coming in as the Six of Wands in reverse, and that being about betrayal by an employer in an employee setting, that would make this even more so, you know what I mean? But this is like the Queen of Swords in reverse. She's very, very mean and spiteful, but she's I don't want to say like she's almost like just as much of a liar as him, but because I can't say that about him just yet, but this person would be a better liar than him, but also would have taught him how to lie or how to maneuver something, you know what I mean? I don't know if she was the link between him and this other guy, or she set up this relationship with this other guy, because there's another investor here, there's another person with some money here that they crossed up in some type of way. King of Coins and Ten of Swords, that's definitely giving me an energy of you having betrayed a man for some money, like I said. And if it wasn't him doing it to this other person, then it was the other people doing it to him, you know what I mean? But this is the energy that's crowning him, and so when you have crowning energy in tarot, it's almost like showing this is what's going on right now, you know what I mean? And then coupled with the fact that Carlos is trying to like exercise some type of self-control or restraint, and then but then you're like angry and hostile, but then you trying to control yourself. Like what's like who are you really trying to keep yourself from blowing up at? You know what I mean? There's a sense of him feeling like, he has to do it all by himself, or maybe he wants to be left alone to do it by himself. Like I said, he's pissed. He's pissed about something. Like there's some weird shit going on, right? Yeah, I think that's all I got for that. That's all I can think of on that side of the spread. Yeah. Definitely some weird energy though. I don't know. I think that has to do with like this network. It has to do with investors in this network, and there's a woman here. I don't know who this is. Maybe she left. I don't know, y'all. I don't know. Anyways, let's move forward. So near future, we got the seven of what is this? The 7 of Cups, and then but you have that clarified by the Sun card. And the Sun card is here in reverse. Now, the Sun card is a good card no matter what. But the Sun in reverse, that is giving me some little icky energy, right? Something about Carlos is like he's misunderstanding or not understanding or don't want to understand something that everybody else seems to understand perfectly clearly. You know what I mean? I don't know if he's like, because the 7 of Cups is about wishful thinking, right? And it's about kind of like letting your imagination run wild. You getting caught up in many different alternatives, right? But I feel like at the same time you're kind of lacking like focus about something, right? There's something that Carlos is waiting to come in, and he's creating some type of like fantasy about it, whatever it is, or illusions in his head about it. Now, for me, I thought this was pertaining to the relationship because it's Cups energy and that's emotions. But it's almost giving me the vibe that somebody made something clear to Carlos. But because he has wishful thinking, or he's dreaming, or he's fantasizing, or there's something that he wants, or his imagination is running wild, like I said, he's refusing to see something, the truth of a situation the way it is. Now, I don't know if these fantasies are getting caught up in these fantasies is what prompted him to go travel to the African and show up unannounced or something like that. But from the African's perspective, he feels like he made himself very clear with Carlos, or he told him something very clearly, so he doesn't know why Carlos is like leading himself on. You know what I mean? The African makes Carlos like insecure, or he's not as confident as he normally is. He's in his feelings regardless. He's going through like a mild depression, just period. But I feel like this relationship influences that, because when he's around this African or something, there's something about him where he doesn't feel as self-assured as he normally does. You know what I mean? And he comes across to the African as being maybe more overbearing than what he should be. You know what I mean? And also he tries too hard. You know what I mean? He puts on a bunch of airs or a bunch of false fronts. You know what I mean? But it kind of like reeks. You know what I mean? It kind of shines through. But I just feel like it's because he wants that person so bad. You know what I mean? Because I feel like I said, with the 7 of Cups, to me, I feel like these are your wishes. You know what I mean? I feel like your wishes has to do with this other person. Now, couple that with the fact of you had this 2 of Wands, right? 2 of Wands, though, was also in reverse. And it was clarified by that Lover's card. Now, that Lover's card is where I told you that there was like a relationship. But I felt like because it was his external environment, the external environment means that's another person in your environment. It's not you. He came in as the King of Cups in reverse and the 7 of Swords in reverse. So now we're advancing up the spread, and I see this 2 of Wands in reverse. This is what made me feel like he went to somebody, but he wasn't invited. You know what I mean? And there's something about this relationship, or what he hopes about this relationship, that's a dead end. With the Two of Wands and the Lovers, this is like telling me that this is like a dead end relationship, or at least from the other person's perspective. With Carlos, it's a dead end relationship. Now, I don't know if that's because that person is already married, like I said, and I feel like if they were married, it would be to another woman, or if they feel like, I don't know, maybe they feel like they don't have anything, or there's like a sense of like restriction. Maybe they feel like, I don't know, Carlos, he's coming in as kind of like overbearing, like I was saying, with this insecurity with this Sun card. I feel like he's coming in as very overbearing, and there's something about this African dude that feels like hemmed in. You know what I mean? Like, Carlos is needy in relationships, but he's not only needy, he's like dominant, but then he's emotional, but then he's macho to cover up that he's emotional, but then he's like weak, but then he like acts aggressive to cover up his weakness. Like he's like screwed up. You know what I mean? And the person that he's dealing with feels like restricted because he's so dominant. You know what I mean? I don't know if he's kept, because sometimes the Two of Wands don't even want to leave the house or go anywhere. I don't know if he feels like, I feel like maybe Carlos like pays his bills, or I feel like he's kept, you guys. And because of that, he feels like he needs to be like on beck and call for Carlos. That's one storyline. The other storyline would be he's already married. Now, if this relationship that I'm looking at doesn't represent his and Carlos' relationship, then it represents him being a married man. I'm gonna say that off top. But let's say he's not married, and this is just him and Carlos' relationship. If this is him and Carlos' relationship, he is kept, and he feels like he's expected to just sit up and not like do anything. He feels like boxed in, like he needs to just wait on Carlos, on top of the fact that Carlos comes into town or wherever he is, or pops up wherever he is whenever he wants to, and then he like demands or like forces his way in, and then the guy is like, I don't know, he does it in like a dominant type of way, and the guy, like I said, he feels like hemmed in by him. You know what I mean? Yeah, I feel like he wants some level of freedom or something like that, or he's longing to like be free in a way, but because he's kept by Carlos, his movement is kind of like restricted or something. Carlos just popped up on this dude. I don't care what nobody say, because this Two of Wands is like somebody popped up. You know what I mean? I don't know if there's an age difference in the relationship with him and the African, but the African is coming up as like being very like disappointed, but it's almost like a gullibility to it. Like he fed into something, or he believed something. Maybe he thought that he would be living a good life or something, but there would be more freedom. Maybe he didn't know that Carlos was like a dominant, like jealous, like insecure type of person. You know what I mean? Maybe because he has so much money, or because he has power, because this person feels like Carlos has all the power, or maybe Carlos feels like they have all the power. I don't know, but there's like a issue of power in this spread, and like I said, I don't know which direction that's going in, but it's coming in the external environment. And so I'm thinking that, like I said, I think that he's kept. If not, then he's married and he has the power. If he's not married, then Carlos has the power, because he's paying for his way. Now, they definitely be arguing. I feel like there was an argument because he showed up to this African's house or something like that, and he threw the person off guard, and he was acting all like jealous or irate. Carlos is very infatuated with this African. You know what I mean? I don't know what the African's intentions are for Carlos. I just know that if they did want him genuinely, that's changed just for the simple fact that they feel suffocated. You know what I mean? And they feel like Carlos is too jealous of a person. You know what I mean? they had a conversation. I'm looking at the Eight of Wands in reverse and the Ace of Swords. This is a truthful conversation about not being in love anymore, and about Carlos being jealous or impulsive or too much arguing. You know what I mean? Sometimes this eight of wands can represent, when it's in reverse, another person. And then we also saw that Lovers card, right? The card of marriage or the card of relationship. But in addition to that, it also is the card of choice between two lovers. And then you have that clarified by the Two of Wands in reverse. And this is in the Africans. This is the African. So what this would mean is that the African is dealing with somebody else. And like I said, either it's a person that they are with, or they could be cheating on Carlos with. But Carlos, I don't know if he's jealous or he found out about the other person, and that's why he suspected it, and that's why he showed up. And I don't know if he's trying to outperform the other person, and that's why he's like paying for this person. But there's some type of like competitive, jealous rival. You know what I mean? Carlos is wasting his energy because this is the wrong person, but he's in such a hysteria, and he's so nervous about losing this person. Like I said, he's already going through a mild depression. He's already going through some stuff. And even though him and this person are coming in as very incompatible, they're not compatible at all. It's a mismatch of energy altogether. But he wants it so bad, you know what I mean? Or something, you know what I mean? But the African is just looking at him like, you're a drama king. You're always trying to control me. You're disrupting things. You're popping up on me. I feel like, you know, like he feels like Carlos is crazy. You know what I mean? Crazy in love. You know? I mean, I don't know. Them gay boys, I guess they be having a lot going on in their little relationships. I'm not homophobic at all, you guys, but I just don't feel like taboo things should be off the table either. Like, shit, I'm laughing at y'all relationships too, because y'all sure be laughing at heterosexual relationships, you know. Now, to close out, we have the Eight of Cups in reverse. I feel like again, this is Carlos, like, he don't want to be alone at no cost. I think him and the African had a trip they were supposed to take, and the African put it off because of this argument that they just had. Carlos got a bleeding heart. He got a bleeding heart right now. You know what I mean? He just feels like he doesn't fit in anywhere. You know what I mean? Right now he may be working through his issues, like of intimacy or commitment, or feeling like people don't commit to him or something like that. You know what I mean? And then there's like this thing where he holds on for too long. You know, he has a problem like letting go. And even though this relationship with this African is broken, you know, there's something off about it. But I don't know if it's his infatuation or what it is, but he won't let it go. Like, he's holding on to it for dear life for whatever reason. I don't know. Like I said, I don't know what he's getting out of it. The Two of Coins is here. I don't know if this is a lease. The Two of Coins can represent some type of contract. Sometimes it's legal, but when you think of legal contracts, you can just think of things as simple as a lease. It doesn't have to be like a big thing. But there's some reason that Carlos doesn't want to let go, in addition to the fact of him just being like one of them crazy, jealous, insane lovers. Didn't y'all tell me that he was a Libra though? I heard Libras be like some stand by your man type of people though. You know what I mean? Like, they got a hard time leaving, you know, a lot. So I don't know what that's about. Anyways, that's that part about that relationship. Now, the Two of Coins being in reverse, this is paperwork though. This is paperwork. You know what I mean? These are emails. This is you being tied up. This is a lot of shit coming in at you at once. You know what I mean? So yeah, he is gonna have to deal with some shit, I think, regarding this situation or this stuff that's going on with this workplace stuff. I will say that, you guys, a lot of it is unsubstantial. A lot of it is just for show. So don't get your hopes up. However, I do feel like it's something that he's gonna have to deal with too. He's also making some type of proposal for another show, or some element of a show. He's doing something like that. I don't know if he's like, I feel like he's doing something like based on him. You know what I mean? Or maybe he's writing a book, because sometimes the Two of Coins can be a manuscript. You know what I mean? Two of Coins can also represent advertising, promotion. We know the show's finna come out, so that's obvious. But for the most part, I'm getting this vibe of him kind of like trying to act like everything's okay, but he's like breaking inside. You know what I mean? Regarding personal issues. Yeah, so Carlos got a lot going on, you guys. So I don't know. It's a lot going on, but listen, do y'all see the tears in his eyes? Y'all let me know. But anyways, you guys, that's what I got. Let me know what you think. Obviously, sound off in the comments. Yeah, I'm kind of speechless. I feel like I'm gonna end up having to like meditate on this a little bit more. I don't know, some energies you come across and they just stick with you, you know what I mean, and you just, I don't know, you just attach to the energy. But I don't know, I'll have to think about this a little bit. But yeah, but in the meantime, you guys, like the video, make sure you're subscribed and that you have your notification bells on. I'm going to be doing Nell and Chris Fletcher next. So we'll see what they have, and then yeah, we'll just keep trekking right on down that list. I hope you guys really enjoyed the video, and I'll see you on the next one.